You are now listening to the Cool Geek podcast with your host, Louis De Luna.
Welcome to my very first podcast. I am your host, Louis De Luna, and I'm here with... I can't really say his name. It's been actually bleeped out, but the reason is because he wanted to remain anonymous, and today I have a really special guest. He is really famous in the Bitcoin and cryptocurrency world. He has invested a lot of money into cryptocurrency, and he also is very knowledgeable on blockchain technology. So without further ado, I want to introduce you to and have him tell you a little bit about his story on how he started with crypto. Go for it, man. Take it away.
So, first I got into Bitcoin first. That was the first crypto I looked into. It was the first one that was created. Because I wanted to buy stuff on the deep web. And Bitcoin was the only way to buying stuff on the deep web at first.
Tell us a little bit about, maybe some people might not know what exactly is the deep web.
So the deep web, it's all what you can't see in Google. It's like the bottom part of the iceberg. You guys know how icebergs are? That like the tip of the iceberg's what's above water. So the tip of that iceberg would be like the internet we see us in Google and in Yahoo. Then all the bottom part of the iceberg that's like 3 times bigger than the tip you see, that's all the deep web. So just imagine how big the deep web is.
So you're telling us that, you know, the basic web that as everyone knows it is just the tip. Like it's literally a very, very small amount of websites, and there's a whole, let's say,
exactly.
What would you say, like 80% of the entire
it's in
of
the
the
deep
entire
web.
internet is
Around
in deep
about
web?
about 80%. Like it variates, but yeah.
What exactly do you find in those? I do know a little bit about deep web, especially going through Tor and all that. But many of my viewers might not actually know what the deep web consists of. So tell us a little bit about what exactly can you find in that deep web? What types of things?
You can find anything, literally anything, all kinds of services, all kinds of products. But if you want to get a little bit more specific, you can probably get fake passports, fake IDs.
Wow.
Like back in high school, I remember friends of mine would get their fake IDs through the deep web, and they would be scannable, like they would work.
Yeah, and I did hear that there is a website, I think it's called like
Silk Road.
Silk Road, yeah, where you can buy
That got
all
shut
kinds
down
of
a couple
drugs.
months ago. The Silk Roads got shut down a couple months ago. Well, maybe about a year ago.
Okay,
but it was really hard for the FBI to shut it down. There were years after it, and they finally shut it down. But before, you could get any kind of drug, even hitmans in the deep web. Yeah, like you could find literally anything and stuff I'd rather just not talk about. But
and let me explain also. It may be a little weird because our guest wants to remain anonymous, and there is many reasons, few that we cannot mention here. But he wanted to remain anonymous, so we're keeping him anonymous. That's the reason why we're bleeping out his name. So you wanted to purchase a few things on the deep web, and that's how it got you started with cryptocurrency, correct?
Yeah, exactly. That was my first experience that I bumped into cryptocurrencies. That's how I discovered them. I looked more into it, and it was really, back in the day, it was super hard to buy them. It wasn't as easy as nowadays.
Explain to me, right now, crypto is a little bit weird, like the state of crypto. The governments are really trying to crack down because I heard somewhere from a different avenue that the governments can't really find a way to treat, like they can't really find laws or they can't really place cryptocurrency.
The thing is, since cryptocurrency, it's pretty much peer-to-peer transaction. You don't need a middleman, so that means banks are worthless. You don't need banks. If we were to change from dollars to cryptocurrency, we wouldn't need banks because we control cryptos, and it's just as easy as sending an email to send cryptos to your friend even though he's across the world. So you could be in China and you need cryptos in a matter of 10 minutes, 10, 20 minutes. I can send you $500,000 worth of Bitcoins, and then you can cash it out at a Bitcoin ATM.
To maybe a few users who might not quite understand, how exactly does cryptocurrency work, and how is cryptocurrency any different from regular money, fiat currency, you would say?
Like I said, it's a peer-to-peer transaction. With money, regular money, most of the time, like with credit cards, you need, when you do a transaction, that transaction gets notified to the bank and the bank approves it. Here, peer-to-peer transaction, you don't need that. You skip the middleman. So you basically, I sent you the code. You send me the code of your address, and then I send the cryptos to that address, and then I get a couple confirmations, and after I get a certain amount of confirmations, you'll be able to, I know for a fact you got them, and you can retrieve them and just cash them out if you want, or you can just use them to buy coffee at like coffee shops that take Bitcoin, man.
And that puts us in the next subject, which is the technology behind crypto, blockchain.
Blockchain is basically bookkeeping. What blockchain technology does, it stores all the transactions in a blockchain. It's block by block, and it only has one specific order. So it's not like you can move blocks around. So imagine a snake of blocks, and every block has the transactions of that year or that certain amount of time. And then every block has a female end and a male end, and it can only fit after, for example, there's block 3, block 4 would only fit after block 3. It's not like you can hack it and move it around. So it's gonna revolutionize bookkeeping for information, for companies.
Tell us, because I've been talking to a lot of tech experts as well, and I recently went to an Amazon convention, and they were talking about everything was blockchain technology, right? So what other uses can blockchain, like a lot of people might not understand, bookkeeping because they don't do bookkeeping, but how exactly can blockchain revolutionize like our current technology? What do you think? Like, how can blockchain change our lives pretty much?
Well, just this matter of fact that it can just store all the transactions being made but on its own, and you can't really change that. Like, you can't hack it and change the information.
It's pretty much unhackable,
if I send
right?
Yeah, it's pretty much unhackable. The only thing I could hack it's a quantum computer.
That's another subject that we won't even get into right now, because that itself is a completely new podcast.
And cryptocurrency also, it's a peer-to-peer transaction, but it uses encryption. So all the information in the blockchain is encrypted. Supposedly back then they would say it was untraceable peer-to-peer transaction. But just like 2 years ago, they released that the NSA has been tracking Bitcoin for the past 7 years. So that's why they invented Monero and other coins to stay anonymous. There's there's different type of coins, honestly. There's coins for currencies and there's coins for like crypto assets. Like Ethereum's for crypto assets. Bitcoin's for more of a currency.
And can you please explain the difference between, let's say, for crypto for assets and just currency itself?
That in the blockchain of crypto assets like Ethereum, instead of seeing transactions like you would see in Bitcoin and Monero, you would see like all the new developments they're making into their softwares and all their projects. Like Tron, it's a project that's trying to decentralize the internet. And I'm not a developer, I'm not a coder, so I can access it, but if you're a developer, you can probably see all the new improvements they're doing for their company. Like, you can see everything live that's being changed. And then on Bitcoin you would see the transactions, but it's encrypted. I'm more of a trader. That's how I made my money in cryptocurrency. I have some knowledge from.
Is it all right if I ask you so the audience can know exactly around how much you have made in cryptocurrency trading?
Probably couple 100,000.
Another thing that I've heard is that there are, a lot of scams out there for crypto, right? And a lot of people sometimes get scammed. I heard there was currently a scam. I forget what it was. Maybe it was with Ethereum, or is how can like a regular person start safely to invest in crypto or start with crypto?
I would say just go to the most trustable wallets like Coinbase. That Coinbase just revolutionized cryptos because it's just so easy to buy a crypto, as simple as downloading the app, inputting your credit card information, your social security, and then or Robinhood. Robinhood's another app like Coinbase. You do the same thing, and then you basically put some money into Coinbase from your debit card or credit card, and then just buy it. And you buy a certain amount that you can either buy the market or put an order. But if you're trying to save fees, because Coinbase will charge you a few fees. Although don't get me wrong, if you're just buying Bitcoin for the first time, do Coinbase, because then there's more advanced trading softwares like Coinbase Pro that used to be called GDAX. And then over there you can avoid fees by you yourself submitting an order on the market. So if you put the order on the markets yourself, you're gonna get way less fees, as in you buy the market and they do it for you. So the software is pretty much the broker back in the days with stocks. Well, stocks still around, but yeah.
And tell me what you just before, let's backtrack. You mentioned also that the governments are tracking these cryptocurrencies, like you mentioned the NSA.
Yeah, well, the government and all the big banks, I'm pretty sure they noticed this technology, this currency, could take over. Why?
Tell me exactly, how can it disrupt our fiat currency?
Well, if all the civilians would ignore the fiat currencies and all just start trading cryptos, how would that affect the world? Well, the money, the currency would be in our hands, not in the government hands. And then the banks will pretty much go broke unless they buy crypto, because there's no point of having banks once you have wallets, online wallets, and you have your currency up to you. Like, there's no one that can charge you tax or anything.
Interesting. And let me ask you, I mean, I know you made some money with Bitcoin. What do you think the future of Bitcoin? Like, I know Bitcoin is starting to go up in it's fluctuating a lot.
Again, he's starting to go up again.
Yeah. So,
I would.
What would you suggest to normal people who who haven't really gotten into it? You wouldn't suggest for them to go into Bitcoin, right? Or what would you suggest?
I would suggest everyone in this world to at least have $100 in Bitcoin. Like, come on, guys, like, just have $100 worth of Bitcoin. If dollar goes to shit, I mean, you at least have $100 worth of Bitcoin. Like, even Mark Cuban, I got that from Mark Cuban. He was like, at least buy $100 of Bitcoin, because it's like internet gold. Bitcoin is that internet gold. There's only gonna be 21 million Bitcoins out there, and my bad, 21,000 Bitcoins out there. Right now we're at 17.
Wow. Okay. And tell me a little bit. I know the start of Bitcoin is very, very interesting. It has an extremely interesting origin with Satoshi Nakamoto, which nobody exactly knows who the hell Satoshi Nakamoto is, but can you shine a little bit of light into...
Just wanted to correct myself real quick. It's 21 million Bitcoins that are ever going to be made. 21 million. Right now we're like at 18 million. After you build every block, like, sorry to interrupt, man, but I just got to throw this out there. So once you build the block, you get rewarded. Right now you're getting rewarded for about 12.5 Bitcoins. And and every Bitcoin's worth roughly like 12,000, 13,000 at the moment.
So if you build a block,
You gotta mine a block,
You
yeah.
gotta mine a block. How does that work?
So you gotta buy these huge processors, these supercomputers. You gotta join a mining pool, which is a lot of these supercomputers together. Maybe some in Argentina, some in Germany, and you're in California, and you join the mining pool. And then depending on how much power, how much transactions you're processing, if you're processing maybe 30% of the transactions with your computers, you're gonna get 30% of the block pay, which would be 30% of 12.5 bitcoins. So pretty much you're the servers. There's servers all over the world.
So a blockchain pretty much makes your computer into a server. So it's like a block of little servers, right?
Yeah, a lot.
That's how you would. So that's how blockchain would revolutionize our current technology, because we would not need centralized servers anymore,
Exactly.
correct?
It's decentralized.
Decentralized servers. So it would give the power to each computer to process a certain amount of data, but be part of a bigger block. That's kind of how blockchain works, essentially, right?
Yeah. In Russia and Iceland, they're building this huge, gigantic mines, Bitcoin mines, yeah.
You said in Russia and
Iceland, yeah, because they use a lot of energy, so if you put them in your room, it heats up a lot. And if they're doing it in caves in the middle of the cold, so they save energy, because...
I actually have another, I want to announce I have another exciting podcast with somebody from North Korea, and he mentioned to me that Russia is in North Korea mining bitcoins. Like there's entire towns that are full of warehouses that are using all the resources and the power to mine bitcoins. Do you know anything about that?
I only heard rumors about it. Yeah.
It's not in the news. It's something. It's something that this person that I know that came, the refugee from North Korea, told me about. But that is, I'm sure you find this interesting. That,
Oh yeah, definitely.
and Russia is right next to North Korea. Now, if you look at North Korea, if you point a satellite at North Korea, you'll find most of the country is blacked out. Like there's no. It's really, really interesting. It's really weird, which when you think about it, it makes sense. There's only a certain amount of spots that have, electricity or lighting where you can see from a satellite, and it makes sense that they're probably using all the resources to mine Bitcoin, right?
Yeah, because after 21 million bitcoins, there won't be any more bitcoins, so they're only gonna go up in price.
So do you really think that Bitcoin is like the beginning?
I think Bitcoin is a technology and a currency way ahead of our time. So it's taking a long time for us to adopt it as a currency. As of right now, it's too volatile to be considered a currency, even though it is a currency. But if you forget about fiat's worth and you only see bitcoins and cryptos like Litecoin, Ethereum as currencies, it can definitely be used just as a currency, man.
But do you think there are even more uses for cryptocurrency? Like, do you think that this can actually revolutionize the world in some way?
In how we pay for things, and yes, we don't need a bank, man. Like, what do banks do? Honestly, they just steal money from us. Why? They charge us. If you didn't pay your credit cards, you get charged. If your bank account goes below zero, you get a fee. There's all kinds of fees in banks, man.
On top of them making money off you.
Yeah, because once you have your money in the bank, you're probably getting like less than 1% a month. When then they're investing your money and making a lot more money with your money. So, I mean, with Bitcoin, it just, yeah, it's to the people. It's for the people.
And what do you see Bitcoin going, like, let's say
In price?
Let's say like 10 years.
Honestly, I think it can hit 100,000 in the future.
Really?
10 years from now. Yeah.
So you think once the last block has been mined, what's exactly gonna happen? Like, is there some sort of like
When the last Bitcoin's out, you mean?
is that gonna go like is that gonna throw everything into like it's gonna be chaos? Like,
Well, I feel just the price is gonna go up because there's no more.
it's gonna be extremely limited.
Yeah, exactly. And and you think, okay, for as of right now, there's 18 million Bitcoins out, roughly, and not all of them are in the market right now. There's a lot stored in cold storages.
Cold storages. Can you explain a little bit about that?
That's like a different place where you can store your Bitcoin. The best way to describe it for the people to understand would be like a USB you plug into your laptop, and then you pass all the cryptos you have into that USB, and then you take it out of the computer, and they'll be and stay inside the USB. If you lose that USB, you're totally fucked.
You're totally fucked. Yeah, I did hear that some people like some people got rich overnight because they bought a Bitcoin and they stored it at some USB, and then all of a sudden, like years later, they discovered it, and when Bitcoin was worth at its height.
Yeah, I actually had a friend. I had a friend that his neighbor gave him 32 Bitcoins just for fun, because he doing him a favor. He fucking watered his plants and he gave me 30 Bitcoins just for fun. 32 Bitcoins, yeah. Yeah, and he had them in his wallet, and then randomly, he was my accountant at the time, and I asked him where he thought some Bitcoin, and he told me, no, I got like 32. I'm like, shut the fuck up, man. You got 32 Bitcoins? And he's like, yeah. I'm like, you know how much they're worth now? And he's like, no, what, 20 bucks? I'm like, no, bro, they're 7,000 each. And he was like, wait, what? And he pulled his wallet right in that second, and he had thousands of dollars, and he cashed out half, and then Bitcoin went up that year. Bitcoin went all the way up to 20,000, and he cashed out, and he made some decent money, man. He made some decent money.
Wow. And I wanted also for you to explain to the audience, how did Bitcoin actually start? Like, what the fuck were the origins? Because
Satoshi Nakamoto, like as you asked me before, supposedly he's the creator of Bitcoin. No one knows who he is or where he's from. Supposedly he says he's from China, but there's rumors that see that the time zones align with the U.S. time zones when he's posting stuff online. So he could be anywhere in the world, honestly. No one really knows who he is. He's made a great job into keeping it secret.
Do you think he might have worked for the government, maybe?
He might have. He might even be the government. He might be the CIA. He might be KGB. We don't fucking know.
Why do you think the government, I mean, now we're getting into conspiracy theories, right? But why do you think the government might create something like this? Why would, or could it be
probably just to sell all the stuff they don't want us to know?
Interesting.
Yeah.
Or but I mean, this kind of gives the power back to the people. So do you really think the government might be the one originating this?
It might be. Like, for example, at first it was untraceable, decentralized peer-to-peer transaction. Years later, they tell you NSA has been tracking all the transactions. So you never know, man. You never know. But as of right now, it's working. Back in college, I knew this dealer, man, that would buy a lot of stuff from the deep web and just sell it, and he would be just buying Bitcoins. There's also stuff like as burn Bitcoins. Like if that Bitcoin has been used for any illicit shit without the right procedure, it might be like a burned Bitcoin. Like it has trace of like illicit stuff. I'm not that knowledgeable in that field because I was more like a trader.
Yeah. I understand. So if you use a Bitcoin, so now Bitcoins are trackable, especially if you're
supposedly. I mean, they're still encrypted. It's not like you can track it down and see what's up. You need like a pretty big team, and
Interesting, interesting. So, tell us a little bit more about Satoshi Nakamoto because I wanna touch on this subject a little bit more. So, or like what like where is he usually at, and does he still tweet, or is he still on social media?
Uh, I'm not sure. Honestly, I haven't followed him in a while. I only started him when I got into crypto. I knew he was the creator of Bitcoin. What started it all, but I'm not that knowledgeable in Satoshi. I haven't followed him. After I made my money, I just been vacationing all over the world, man. But I don't want to mislead people.
You disclose your location, like usually where you're usually at. I know you're somewhere in Asia, right?
Philippines. In South America. Okay, I left the U.S. because they wanted too much taxes. And then in third world countries, they don't even regulated cryptos yet. So you don't have to pay taxes.
And you could be trading, you could be using your computer and trading anywhere.
As long
in the
as you have
world,
good
right?
internet, man, you can be trading anywhere.
Yeah, and you could be making your money now. How do
Yep.
you, like in third world countries, like where crypto is like not even, it's unheard of.
Well, in Venezuela, they use it a lot because their currency is just literally is worth nothing right now. So that's saving a lot of people in Venezuela. Yeah, right now that's all that thing going on right there. Like there's families that just send bitcoins to people out there, and because sometimes the government even blocks flights to the U.S. or other countries, so you can really exit the country. They take the internet signal, but you still need internet to get the bitcoins.
Right now, Bitcoin or cryptocurrencies are starting to thrive. You're saying in Venezuela, where people are just in desperate need and there's no money, like they're starting to trade actually Bitcoin.
Yeah. I mean, for being a third world country, I think there's
Very
cryptos are growing there.
interesting. Do you think that they might be also mining it there in Venezuela?
Who knows? Maybe, man. I mean, it might be expensive because you need a smarter way to mine them would be at a cold place because they heat up the room a lot, and then that consumes a lot of electricity to keep it cool, and that reduces your ROI. But
And so let's get into mining a little bit more, because that's extremely interesting. I find that extremely interesting. So what type of processing power are you talking about if you want to seriously mine some Bitcoins? What sort of can you just go out to Best Buy and buy one of these computers?
no, they're like each computer. It's about maybe 5 to 7K. AVEC. I kind of forgot the name. I'm not a miner, but gamers. I just know gamers are mad, man. They're mad just because they would use those computers to play for gaming, but now they're going up in price and they're sold out just because everyone is buying them to mine.
Bitcoin, interesting. If you want to, learn how to mine Bitcoin,
There's a lot of YouTube channels, man. I don't know them at the top of my head, but you
Yeah,
can find
yeah,
them
yeah.
easily.
okay, and are there any additional resources that you can?
Yeah, there's a lot of blogs, even like Bitcoin.com, man.
Yeah. Interesting.
Yeah.
I do follow a few of them, and I'm not quite a Bitcoin or cryptocurrency trader, but I do know, and I do know also that there's a bunch of side currencies being created. Like one of them was for like dogs, or like a I forgot what it was, or what's up with all these different cryptocurrencies? What exactly is the purpose of having different cryptocurrencies? Why not just one cryptocurrency?
They all have different uses. Like some are anonymous, some are faster than others, and then yeah, that's pretty much it. There's some different functions, but like I said, man, there's a lot of new cryptos coming out ever since I just cashed out.
Yeah. And do you still trade crypto, or do you already?
As of right now, I'm just for the long term. Just long. There's three types. You can trade three types. There's three types of trading. There's day trading, where you take your profits the same day at the end of the day. There's swing trading, that you're just trading between the swings of the volatility, and then there's long term. I was doing swing, a little bit of swing trading, and now I'm just long term, man.
Yeah, interesting, man. And can you share with the audience like how many Bitcoins you might have? Like, is that something that you can mention to the audience? That way, they can get an idea.
So far, now just around 10. All my money would be in Litecoin mostly now. Litecoin and Cardano, IOTA. They've taken a big hit the past year, but they look pretty promising projects. Especially, I have faith with Litecoin. It's like the grandchild of Bitcoin. It's like if Bitcoin's gold, then Litecoin would be silver. It's faster to use, and I like the people. Yeah. Who's in charge?
Pretty much. Is there any other additional ending statements? We're ending our podcast soon. But this is another podcast. There are many subjects in this podcast which I want to branch out and have different podcast subjects on. But are there any ending statements that you can provide as far as like for our audience of as far as where Bitcoin or where cryptocurrency is heading? Like, what is the future of cryptocurrency, let's say 5 years from now? What do you think cryptocurrency might be 5 years from now?
I don't know if you know about about the brothers from Facebook. What's their name? Winchester? No. The guys that created Facebook before Zuckerberg, the guys that started the idea. Remember their names?
No, I can't recall them.
It's like, as of right now in the U.S., I think they're the ones trying to submit the laws for Bitcoin. So I heard something about that, and then they got rejected, but they're not giving up anytime soon. Also, I believe that there was a lot of banks that saw the potential power of cryptocurrencies could affect them, so they were the ones that would make the market bounce. Yeah, I think all the big organizations started investing in Bitcoin and created a pump and dump. A pump and dump, it's pretty much when they set up it's illegal, by the way. Pumps and dumps are illegal, but as long as you get caught, they're illegal. So it's pretty much you get like maybe 40, 100 whales. Whales are big millionaires with a lot of cryptocurrency or money, these currencies to them. And then they start buying at 2 million, you see the price go up. Then they put another order for 5 million, the price goes up. They put a bunch of all orders and they keep on buying, so the demand increases and the price increases. So, and then people see the trend, so they all start buying. Then all these guys start paying and creating like news on YouTube and on the internet that Bitcoin's gonna hit 20,000, Bitcoin's gonna hit 50,000. Then everyone's like, fuck, everyone's trying to catch the trend. Once everyone's just investing, and they already double their money, triple their money, then they start dumping. So they pump it and then they dump it. So that's what I believe it happened in the last crash. All the big whales, all the big organizations just invested a lot of money, and then they manipulated the market, man, and they just cashed out. And I hope they go all in their big yachts and never come back, man.
Yeah. Because
that's what's not letting be a currency, man.
All these whales, all these whales that are causing the volatility.
Yeah.
I would even go as far as it could be even Wall Street.
Like even in JP Morgan Chase, man. Like
maybe they're investing so much, buying these Bitcoins, and they're causing.
What about the Rothschild, man? All the Rothschilds, yeah.
And that's a whole different subject that we're not even going to get into. But it's very interesting, and I know that there were a lot of people, a lot of misinformed people, investing in Bitcoin, selling their homes or putting their homes or their assets on the line.
Man. They lost it in the last crash.
There was a big crash.
Thank God I cashed out and had my stop losses set, man.
Yeah. And was there something that tipped you off as far as when to cash out?
It was luck, man. 100% luck. I'm not a super expert in it, but I do have my knowledge on it, and I would have a couple mentors that would advise me, and I would see them do that technical analysis to hedge Bitcoin, and I learned from them. I'm still learning. I would say I'm still a rookie that got lucky, man.
Of course. And I mean, if anyone wants to get into Bitcoin, I know but how hard would you say on a scale of 1 to 10 for someone new to start right now?
Probably like a 4, 3. It's super easy through Bitcoin as long as you know how to use internet and apps. It'll be super easy, man. If you can use your Chase app or your Bank of America app, you can definitely buy Bitcoins in the next 20 minutes.
Perfect, man. Perfect. Now, is there any last statement that you wanna give to our audience here, as far
Everyone buy at least $100 worth of Bitcoin.
At least $100 of Bitcoin.
And then just buy it now, man. If you lose it, it's just $100.
Exactly.
You might 10x your money. You can 20x your money, man. You just have some cryptos. You never know, man. You never know where the world can go. And
yeah. I think if the world goes to shit, or let's say,
Third World War.
I think when all fiat currency, when you go, you wake up in the morning and you try to take out some money from your bank, and guess what? Your bank doesn't work, or is no longer, it's frozen. If everything is frozen, you got crypto.
Yeah, you got crypto.
You can trade from, you can trade from your phone, or you can,
from your laptop. Easy, man. There's
interesting.
cards that you can use. That's like credit cards.
Like credit cards, yeah.
You just pay with Bitcoins.
Yeah, well, we hope that I am rooting for cryptocurrency. I myself am rooting for cryptocurrency.
There's already a lot of businesses, man. You can go to coinmap.com.
Yeah.
And you can find all the businesses that take cryptocurrencies.
Interesting. Yeah, I do have a friend who's starting an app too that he wants to. There's a big effort to introduce cryptocurrency payment methods in all these small and medium businesses. I know that's a big effort that's coming, and the governments and the banks are really trying to hold it, or to stop the progression of this currency. But anyways, man, I thank you so much for being on the Cool Geek podcast.
You're welcome, man.
And this was an awesome first podcast. And again, guys, this is our very first podcast. There will be a lot more coming. I promise you that. There will be a lot more interesting subjects.
We're gonna do a part 2 eventually.
Yeah, of course, man.
And,
I want you to
details.
Of course, I want to invite you more. I want to invite you again on my podcast. I know you're a very busy guy, and you were. It was a good chance to have you here, because usually you're not usually here in this part of the world.
Yeah, I gotta catch a plane in like the next half an hour, man. So.
Yeah, man. So, well, thank you so much, and thank you guys for watching. I hope that you guys subscribe. Keep following my podcast, because a lot of interesting stuff is coming, and subscribe to my YouTube as well. And I don't want to tell the audience where to find you, but I mean, next time if you want to...
They'll hear from me soon. I'll be making lots of noise online, man.
Awesome, man. I know you got some projects coming up with crypto, so... Anyways,
we'll
man.
About it in the future.
Perfect, man. Well, I hope to have you on my podcast pretty soon, man.
All right, man.
Awesome. Thank you guys, and thank you guys for tuning in. This is The Cool Geek, and I am out.
You are now listening to Louis De Luna in the Cool Geek podcast.